morning, Year 4. Hope you're all doing well. We are today carrying on our work on decimals that we started yesterday. So let's get cracking. Here is your do now in front of you. So our WALT for today is going to be rounding decimals to the nearest whole number. So I thought it would be a good idea to practice our rounding. So what you've got to do here, round the following numbers to the nearest 10 and 100. Use the steps to success that you'll have ingrained in your head from earlier this year. Circle the number, look next door, 5 or greater, add one more. Numbers to the left stay the same. Numbers to the right, zero's the game. So if we do this first one together, if we're rounding 71 to the nearest 10, we'll start with. So I need to circle the tens because I'm rounding to the nearest 10. So circle the number, look next door. Is it 5 or greater? Number 1, no, it's not, so I don't add one more. Numbers to the left stay the same. Well, there aren't any numbers to the left. And numbers to the right, zero's the game. So the 7 stays the same, and then the numbers to the right of it. So 71 to the nearest 10 is 70. So if you can complete the nearest 10 and the nearest 100 for these numbers here, and then as a challenge, if you want to push yourself, can you round these numbers to the nearest 1,000? So pause the video now, off you go. So hopefully that's given you a chance to do that, guys. Let's have a look at the answers. So pause the video now, see if there are any errors that you've made, and with a different color pen or pencil, just mark these ones here. Right, so our WALT for today is rounding decimals to the nearest whole number. And these are our star words that we're going to be using today. So I'll say them first, and then if you can say them after me. Rounding, decimal point, tenths, decimals, whole number. Very good. So those are the words that I'm going to be using and that I'd love to hear you using as well. So before that, we need to do a quick recap of what we did yesterday, which is comparing two decimals. So what I'd like you to do, pause the video now. Can you insert the correct greater than, equals, or less than sign in the boxes here? Pause the video now. Off you go. So hopefully you've had a chance to look at that. Let's go through these. So we know that the first thing that we've got to do is look at the greatest place value, which in this case is the ones. So this one has 0, this one has 1, which means that it's greater. So again, crocodile goes for the bigger number. 0.3 is less than 1.9. So make sure you're marking these as we go along. Here, the greatest place value is the ones again, and they're the same. So what do we do in that case? We go over to the next greatest place value, which are the tenths. So this one is 4 tenths. This one has 3 tenths. So we know that this one, 9.4, is greater. And then finally, the greatest place value is the ones, which there's none of, and 2 ones here. So we know that 0.9 is less than 2.0. So today we're going to be looking at rounding decimals. So imagine that you have £10. You're walking around a shop and you want to buy the following items. Pretend that you don't have a calculator, a phone, a pen and paper, or really any way of working this out using equipment. So it might be a bit tricky if you're buying multiple items to try and add all of these up in your head. So how are you going to work out if you've got enough money or not without having to take everything to the checkout and maybe having to then put things back? This is where rounding comes in really useful in everyday life. So we can say that £3.70 might round up to £4, that 90p rounds up to probably £1, and that the pallets round down to £4. So roughly we can say we've got around £9 once we add 4, 4, and 1. So we probably have enough money there. So rounding can then be a really useful way of sorting out those kind of mental problems that we can't solve using just the power of our brains. So Sorry, that's a look at the task. I need to put the whiteboard out in front of us first. So, imagine we have to round 3.2 to the nearest whole number. And what I mean by whole number is a number that doesn't have a decimal place in it. Or if it does, it only has zeros on the right-hand side. So 3.2 is not a whole number. We need to then round this to the nearest whole number. Here we've got a number line. On one side is 3, as that is the whole number before 3.2. And then on the right-hand side, we've got the number 4, which is the nearest whole number after 3.2. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is try and place 3.2 on our number line. So, we're going to firstly check our number line to make sure it's correct. So 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, 3.9, 4. Good. So we can tell that this number line is going up in tenths. So in that case, I'm just going to fill that in the middle as well. It just makes it a bit easier to keep track of everything. So where's 3.2 going to go? So 3.1, 3.2 is going to fit in just there. Next thing, let's look at the number jumps. If we were to round to 3, it would be a number jump of 0.2. If we were going to do round to 4, we can see instantly that's way, way bigger, and that would be a number jump of 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. So we can tell that 3.2 is closer to 3, so 3.2 rounded to the nearest whole number is 3, because it's only that small jump compared to the big 0.8 number jump over there. Let's look at another one together. So now we have to round 6.7 to the nearest whole number. And this time, we don't have the whole numbers on either side provided for us. So, what is the whole number that comes before 6.7? And remember, what's a whole number again? A whole number is a number that doesn't have a decimal or has nothing after the decimal point except zeros. So, what comes before 6.7? It's going to be 6. And what whole number comes after 6.7? That's, of course, going to be 7. So we need to decide, is 6.7 rounded to the nearest whole number going to be 6 or 7? Well, there's one way to find out. We're going to place 6.7 on our number line. Now, it's the same as last time, so I know I can trust it. So where's it going to go? Let's count up in our tenths. 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, 6.4, 6.5, 6.6, 6.7. So that's going to fit just over there. Now, let's look at our number jumps. If we were to round down to 6, the number jump is going to go like that. And the number jump is going to be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. So 0.7 of a number jump. If we were going to round up to 7, it would be much smaller. We can see that already. How many would it be? 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. So, which number is 6.7 going to be rounded to, the nearest? Which is nearer, 6 or 7? Yeah, that's definitely going to be 6.7 rounded to the nearest number, whole number is 7. Right. Now let's do this final one before you guys go off by yourselves. So, what I'd like you to do, we need to first of all place the whole numbers in these two spaces here. So firstly, can you tell me what whole number is going to come before 14.8. Pause the video now, we'll just have a little think. What whole number is going to come before 14.8? That's going to be, hopefully you all said 14. And what's the whole number that's going to come after 14.8? That is going to be 15. Now the next thing we're going to do is place 14.8 on our number line. Now can you spot, maybe point at your screen, where is 14.8 going to go? Let's count out together. 14.1, 14.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 14.8. So let's draw on those number jumps. If we were to round down from 14.8 to 14, that's going to be a number jump of 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, so 8 tenths. If we made the number jump up, we can see that that's much smaller and much easier to round to. That is definitely going to be closer. That's 0.2. So 14.8 rounded to the nearest whole number is 15, because it's a much smaller jump to make. Okay, so I'm going to remove these whiteboards now, and this is the task that you're going to be doing independently. So much like we were doing, together just then, you have 4 numbers that you need to round to the nearest whole number. So the first one here, see it's not that focused there, is 3.4. If you've got the sheets printed out, then you have the number line drawn for you. If you don't have the sheet printed out, that's no problem at all. What you can do is just draw the number line for yourself. So I've already got mine here. I don't have any squared paper, but that's okay. And then what I can do, if you've got a ruler, it's particularly useful because all of these, how many tenths do we need? We need 10 tenths, so you can just draw a line from 0 all the way to 10 and mark the little lines in the middle. So at 0 centimeters, at 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4, 5, just do these little marks, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there you have a pretty perfect number line. And then all you have to do is think, what number's going to go at this end? What number's going to go at that end? So hopefully we should know that the 3 is going to go there and the 4 is going to go there. And then you have a perfect number line sort of drawn out for you. So I'll remove that there. And here is your sheet. So pause the video now. If these numbers are a little blurry, you can always look on the right-hand side where they should be a bit clearer. So 3.4, 7.6, 12.2, and 6.4 rounded to the nearest whole number. Okay, pause the video now. Off you go. All right, guys, so hopefully I've made that a little clearer now. I've focused it a bit more. Let's look at those answers. So if you grab a different color pen or pencil there. So 3.4 rounded to the nearest whole number is 3. 7.6 rounded to the nearest whole number is 8. 12.2 would be 12, and 6.4 would be 6. So hopefully we managed to get most of, if not all of those. Now, what happens, however, if you do not have a number line? So if you have to round 7.8, for instance, to the nearest whole number without a number line. Well, in fact, it's very similar to what we've done in maths before, because you will know these steps to success off by heart by now, because we did rounding to the nearest 10, 100, and 1,000 in the autumn term. And it's exactly the same steps to success, except it's even easier because the only one we ever need is the ones column, the one just before the decimal point. So let's do this one. If you just watch me do it to start with. So I want to round 7.8 to the nearest whole number. So I circle the number, look next door. 5 or greater, is the 8 5 or greater? Yes, it definitely is 5 or greater. Then we need to add one more to this circled number here. So that's going to become an 8. Numbers to the left stay the same. Well, we don't have any numbers to the left of our 7 or our 8. Numbers to the right, 0 is the game. So we'll put the decimal point back, and then the 8 turns into a 0. So it's just as easy as that. So 7.8 rounded to the nearest whole number is 8. And we could probably tell that anyway because it's 8/10 away from 7, but only 2/10 away from 8. Let's try this one. So what is the first step that I need to do here? So I need to circle the number. Well, we're rounding to the nearest whole number. So which number am I going to circle? Which number is it always that I need to circle? That's right. I need to circle the ones column. Always circle the ones column when rounding to the nearest whole number. So circle the number. Then what do I do next? I look next door. Is this number 5 or greater? Yes, it is. 6 is definitely greater than 5. So I add one more to that circled number. So that 3 is going to become a 4. Numbers to the left stay the same. Do we have any numbers to the left this time? Yes, we do. That 1, so that's going to stay the same. And numbers to the right, 0 is the game. So that 6 is going to become a 0. So 13.6 to the nearest whole number is 140. Whoa, Mr. Parker, hopefully you have spotted that I have made a mistake. What have I forgotten to do there? What have I forgotten to add? Of course, I've forgotten the decimal point, which is going to make all the difference. Of course, it's not 140. It's going to be 14.0 or just 14. So really important that we remember to add that decimal point every time. So let's try another one here. So circle the number. Which is the number that you're going to circle? Call it out at the screen. Which number am I going to circle? 8, 0, or 5? 3, 2, 1. Absolutely right. We go and circle the 0. Always the one in the ones column. And if it makes it easy, it's probably a good idea to label your place value as well, if that's... So we've got our tens, our ones, and our tenths, and of course our decimal point in the middle. So we always circle the ones. Circle the number, look next door. Hopefully you're all screaming at your screen saying, Mr. Parker, no, 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 that's not the right answer. That's not the right number to look next door at. So we cross that out. Of course, we look next door over to our tenths. So we circle the number, look next door. Is it 5 or greater? 3, 2, 1. Yes, of course it is. It is 5. So we add one more. So the 0 becomes a 1. Numbers to the left stay the same. So which number is staying the same? The 8 or the 5? 3, 2, 1. Of course, it's the 8. Then numbers to the right, which would be the 5, 0 is the game. And of course, remembering that all-important decimal point. Very, very well done, guys. So now what I'm going to do, I'd like you to pause the video. This number may be a bit bigger, but it is still exactly the same principle. Can you please round 121.2 to the nearest whole number? Okay, so pause the video now. See if you can work that out, and we'll go through the answer in a moment. Off you go. So, gang, let's see how you've got on. So, hopefully we've realized, and I will label these as well. Always useful to label the place value. So, because it's the nearest whole number, we circle the number. Look next door, just make sure, is this how you did it? 5 or greater? No, it is not 5 or greater. So we don't add one more, it stays exactly the same. Numbers to the left stay the same. So that's the 1 and the 2. Numbers to the right, remember that decimal point, 0 is the game. So 121.2 to the nearest whole number is 121, or 121.0. Very good. Right, so for your second task, you are doing just as we have done together. Here we have 6 numbers with which are decimals. What I would like you to do, please, can you round these following numbers to the nearest whole number? Okay? All the steps are on your right. Pause the video now. Off you go. Okay, guys, so grab that different color pen and pencil. I am extremely confident that you're going to have done really, really well on these. So let's have a look at the answers. There we go, so mark those. And if there are any you got wrong, think, okay, which step did I not listen to? Are you sure that you circled the 0 every time? The ones every time, the number before the decimal point. All right, so hopefully you've had a chance to mark those. And now, onto your reasoning and your challenge. So, using the numbers below, can you complete the table below? Now, it says table below. Those of you with the printed out sheet, you will have a small table underneath. For you, those of you that don't, what you've got to do with these 9 numbers, these 9 numbers either round to 23 to the nearest whole number, or they round to 24 to the nearest whole number. So, why don't we look at the first one? So 23.1. We probably have a good idea straight away. But if it helps, we can just write it on the side, 23.1. Circle the number, look next door, 5 or greater. No, it's not 5 or greater, so we don't add one more, it stays the same. Numbers to the left stay the same, and numbers to the right, 0 is the game. Does it round to 23 or 24? It rounds to 23, so we can write 23.1 there, and then carry on that list until you've done all of those. And then if you would like to push yourself even further, there is a challenge which you can read just down below. So pause the video now, guys, and we'll go through the answers in a jiffy. Off you go. Best of luck. Excellent. So grab that different color pencil for the last time, and let's mark these. So there are all the answers for you there, except the last one, which is kind of up to you. Different people will have given different instructions, but probably very similar to what's on the right-hand side. So that is all. If you need to pause it just to mark them, now is your time to do it. Thank you so much, guys, for the excellent work and all of that fantastic rounding. I really hope that you managed to nail that, and we will be continuing our decimals work tomorrow. I can't wait. See you then. Bye-bye.